Hey, what's up, everyone? Um, I have just rewatched episode 6 and rewatched the last episode of Mandalorian as well. And there's so much just lore that's building up, and I love Star Wars, and this is like a really huge thing for me and a bunch of other people. And it's such a it's so cool to see that coming to life and everything, and I think it's been going really well for most people. And that doesn't come with without complaints, and I understand pretty much every complaint I've heard. I don't disagree. There's a lot of people aren't feeling this whole it's a Boba Fett show, but it's really taking everything from Star Wars and the Clone Wars and uh, putting it into the Boba Fett story, right? And that is a bit of a bummer, and I think that is more fault of the marketing than anything. I feel like the story of this was truly uh, a celebration of Star Wars. I think that's what they want to put on screen, is just kind of bringing everything together and making it make sense. Doesn't have to be too on the nose of you know fan service kind of thing, while being what fans want to see. And I think that's the line that they're trying to walk here. But for me in general, I want to give like my self uh not exactly how I wanted to put that. I just want to kind of establish my knowledge of Star Wars or experiences with it, and give my taste on that, because I give I I don't know. I feel like it's such a useful kind of it's a very neat story. I feel like it's very inspiring in many different ways. For me, it's understanding of it helped me understand politics as well as religion, and kind of comparing it to our daily lives as far as the different topics that pop up and things. It helped me kind of work around understanding everything to an extent. It helps. um and I mean, everybody watches it for some other kind of reason, but like you can look at it and take something from it. And for me, that's where I think a lot of the inspiration has gone to. I'm not like a hardcore fan. I watch a lot of other reviews and things, and um, yeah, it's a cool thing to kind of like commune, or have a community based around this, and like kind of talking about these things. And I want to do a video real quick about how I feel the story is going and where I think it will continue to go. Let me pick this thing up. And I want to start doing more videos like this. I want to review how the shows are going and everything. I want to showcase my thoughts and opinions as well. And I think we can all kind of learn and take notes and whatnot. And I think that's the best kind of interaction. So yeah, he's a little lost too. But he has to make a big decision coming up, and I'm here for it. I feel like he's gonna choose both eventually. I think it's gonna be kind of a tricky situation. I also wonder if they're gonna pull that kind of bring around the thing where Rey, when she touches Luke's lightsaber, she gets all these flashbacks and things. So I'm really hoping for a Yoda cameo and a flashback sequence when he touches Yoda's lightsaber, because I feel like he's gonna grab it, but he's also going to want the Kevlar. And, uh, Bhaskar Kevlar at that. So, I mean, I would want it. Both. Why not both, you know? And I feel like he's gonna kind of showcase that he wants both, and so he is gonna touch the lightsaber. We're gonna get a flashback that's never been more establishing of the Clone War era and everything, and like really showcase some of that stuff and um, give us a better idea of like who brought him back and everything. He's really gonna remember things from that, and he's gonna have a lot of knowledge or memories from Yoda, I would imagine, or something. You know, like that crazy vision that Rey had. I feel like they would bring that back, just for the purpose of being able to put all that into a scene and get everybody all sweaty. Yeah, nerdy sweat, and you know, yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it pretty PG. You know, I'm not gonna try and cuss a lot and just kind of get my thoughts out. It doesn't need cussing. Star Wars doesn't need cussing. But I feel like every Star Wars fan should do this, and you know, I would love to kind of get to, you know, personally, it's like I try and figure out what kind of videos I want to make, and I try to figure out how I want to make them and everything, and how I want to do them differently. And Star Wars is like a huge part of life of I think a very important kind of balance. Like it has a very good focus on balance, and I feel like that's a huge thing in life in general right now. And I feel like everyone is out of balance, and you know, it's a show that emphasizes on trying to find a balance. Yeah, and I, you know, Disney's made some rough choices here and there. I don't know. The second time I watched episode 6, the Book of Boba Fett, episode chapter 6, I should say. It was better. It was more bearable as far as like the kind of awkward. I guess it's kind of getting like the uncanny valley kind of thing, but it's not really cringy or weird to me. It's what is it? It's just not. It's not normal. And like the way he was reacting to things, I was like really wishing we had somebody with a human personality in there, and not a voice tron thing. I don't know what they use, but it was some kind of software that reads the voices of his past. Basically, they took all the audio from his speaking lines and the original trilogy and morphed it into what you hear in the show, and now they can literally make Luke say anything they want. But it kind of has some things that are off, some things I don't think he would portray that way, and I don't know, he seemed a little weaker in this episode, and I think there's a reason for that that isn't story driven. I feel like it was because of the technology being used and the limitations, which is hard to get back. But you know, I think what Disney is doing is that trying different things. They're trying to see what they can do, what they can do better than others, and what's the best solution to how to bring Luke. Yeah. As for the next episode, I mean, I don't have any like feelings enough to like where I hate it, feelings enough to where I love it so much that like I was in tears or anything. I teared up in Mandalorian episode, you know, 8 of season 2, and I think that was because it was built up a lot more. It was like a lot of long pauses, you know, and then Luke comes in, and you're just, you know, you see the X-wing, but you kind of like, you've seen the Rebels before in the show, so it was, you didn't know for sure. but then they kept making it a bigger and bigger deal. Like, this is Luke, this is cool, and like, you know, it was a build up, and I think that's why that was so much more effective. It came around to being just a better eventful moment, I think, and there were moments in chapter 6 of Boba, a little too kid friendly, I guess, and I think that was actually due to, again, limitations of technology, and like they couldn't accurately give Luke more emotion. They couldn't accurately portray a lot of that. I mean, and if not, if that was exactly how they wanted it to go, then maybe so. I don't know. But, it's just like a few off things to me, but it wasn't anything like too off to like dislike it. I was picturing these moments to like be more epic in some sort of way. It felt like they had limitations, and it didn't feel like as fully expressed of characters and scenes as I think it could have been. But again, it's I think what it really was we just came off of the Dallas Howard uh, directed episode, and it was so much better directed than any of the episodes that have come before it, and so it was like how I wanted the whole show to be. Perfect, just a perfect modern Star Wars tale. Also, story, directing, everything, it all served its purposes perfectly, I think. And coming off of that into Dave Filoni's episode, I think everything just kind of, it wasn't hitting the right notes that I was really wanting from like, even if we, you know, bringing Soka back was nice, but it was like it kind of feels off at the same time. But again, watching it the second time for what it is and like understanding what it is, I did like it a lot more than my first time watching, and I think that's, you know, I'm really enjoying where everything's going. I can't wait for you know, there's this whole mystery on whether Obi-Wan's coming out on May 4th or not, but if it does, that's gonna be insane. And yeah, I think these visions and flashbacks are gonna be used a lot more coming up, and I'm loving it. I'm loving seeing the past and going back to the prequels for a bit and kind of redirecting those in some ways, and kind of I mean, ever since the Clone Wars, they've been making the prequels better and from certain perspectives and stuff, and showing the stories introduced there in a different light. And I think this is all gonna come together and bring it all together in like an interesting way. I don't expect a typical you know, big bad guy Thrawn kind of thing to happen and like everybody comes together for it again. I feel like they do that with like every season of these shows practically now. They follow the typical solutions to problems and you know, a hero's journey kind of thing and everything. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Yeah, again, it would actually be really cool to see all the heroes fighting and going against the bad guys. It always is. But I hope it's not gonna be that simple exactly. I've been a huge fan ever since I was a kid, and it's awesome to see a lot of this just coming back, because I remember growing up, it was kind of like I started watching YouTube because of videos basically bashing all the prequels, and that was kind of like in the early days of me getting into YouTube, or like, you know, it was like a bunch of people like making fun of Jar Jar and all that, and it wasn't until I watched some, I believe it actually was Star Wars Theory, that he brought light to why the prequels are better than you would think, or typically would think. And like, so I started thinking back, and I was like, you know what, that's true. There's a lot of things to not like, but there's plenty to really take from and appreciate as well. And it helped shape my idea for Star Wars. Um, and I love where Star Wars is now and where the fandom has come now, currently. It was really rough when the movies were coming out from Disney, but I think we're better now. And but yeah, as far as like, am I prequels, sequels or originals kind of guy? I would say I'm very much mostly originals and prequels. Um, I think that's where my heart is mostly for sure. There are very few things that I like about the sequels as far as the overall. I feel like the directing was well done for the most part. I feel like the story was just so torn apart and thrown back together, and nobody knew what they were doing with it exactly, but everybody had like a whole philosophical kind of thing that they wanted that trilogy to be, and I feel like it was just kind of poop. I don't know how to put it better than that, but I feel like overall it was just a big fumble play. If we're trying to make a touchdown here, I think Mandalorian was that touchdown, and we finally got the Star Wars that we wanted. Anyway, there's so much that we're about to get into tomorrow, and I'm pumped for it for sure. We got Pikes, we got Chrysanthemum, we got Mandalorian coming in with. I guess he's trying to get Cod Vanth. Cod Vanth is now injured, at least. He seems pretty badly hurt, but I think at the most they'll just throw him in the tub and they'll heal him up and bring him back. And I don't know, bringing back the small town of heroes, I don't think that's the best army to try and bring into a battle with the Pikes. I don't know how big of a battle this is going to turn out to be. I really hope for a huge battle, hopefully some space battle action happening with like and his ship outside, and maybe he's infiltrating the mothership up there. And I don't know, but I think it was like a really happy moment to like see the Pikes in live action. I think we saw them in Solo, pretty sure, but to see them in live action, like a lot of them in like, I don't know, more realized, was kind of cool, because I've been seeing them in Clone Wars for a while, and it's always nice to see things come to life in live action for some reason. It's about just as real to me, but it's something special, kind of cool to see. I really hope for like more story with Boba, and maybe we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, they have time to like right any wrongs that they have done in the show. They feel like, for sure, and I feel like Boba's gonna continue on. If he dies, that would be a huge shock. Would not expect that. I think, I don't think anybody wants that. I think he seems like a character that is needed, but there's all these theories, and like, I don't know, maybe he's gonna try and lead Mandalore or something, and I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be neat, but I think Mandalorian can also do it. I think Grogu could do it. I don't know. It's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot to expect from this episode, and I think it was maybe more than anyone anticipated, really. I mean, Chrysanthemum, we got a lot of things that opened up that I don't think a lot of people were looking for exactly. I'm expecting Bosk. Pretty sure that's gonna happen. I'm expecting I'm expecting Kira, at least as a reference. Yeah, I'm expecting a pretty dang big battle, and I'm expecting it to be way more than anybody was looking for. But at the same time, I'm not, because a lot of the time with this show so far has been the really scary things happening until something makes them not so scary anymore, and that seems to be a very prominent theme so far with this show. So I don't know. I think they will have a winning shot of Boba like just going rage mode on everything in the site, and like we'll see him really break out of that good kid kind of vibe he's got going. But really like more so than we've seen him before, and like really just annihilate everything. Um, and I think it'll be a beautiful mix of him, maybe Cod Vanth, and Mando will be kind of like an Avengers kind of bring up of all the characters just annihilating everything, and it'll be really cool to see. A great fight scene with Chrysanthemum, I'm sure, and oh, Bane. Oh man, Bane. That's gonna be my favorite scene. I bet it's just like that kind of showdown. Him and Boba again. That'd be so freaking cool. That alone would be like, if they just have that in there, and like the pikes just kind of run away or something. That I'm fine with that. Yeah, it's just so much to expect, and like you know you're gonna see stuff happen. Is Luke? I feel like maybe Luke's gonna come back. This is the scene that I have planned out for the very last shot, and it's gonna be Luke entering Jabba Palace just like he did in the originals. The same shot of the door opening and him walking in cloaked, and then he's gonna come up and unhood himself, and he's gonna present himself and be holding Grogu, and he's gonna give them Grogu and say he chose to come back. And but I think Grogu now kind of also learns the has more purpose in how he wants to go about things. Like I feel like he's gonna want to fight more. I feel like he's gonna be a lot more active, and not as much of a like dragging a child along with you kind of experience is going to be like Grogu's fighting. Like he's really going to be part of the fight scenes and everything, and I can't wait for the stuff like that. I feel like he's going to have some fighting going on at the end of this episode too. I feel like he's going to have something to do with it. I don't know, maybe not, but it could be amazing. It could be amazing. It could be slightly subpar from what I have imagined. But I don't think there's any way we will come out of this not enjoying it. And we do. I don't know how anyone's gonna I don't know how that's gonna happen, to be honest. I mean, people are gonna complain, of course, about something, but I don't see how someone's gonna be like so, like, actually disappointed with the show, with that episode, with this episode coming up. But yeah, we will see. You can go in any direction now, and it's opened up so much. There's all those Han Solo rumors. I think it could happen. I don't know. But I love that we established Luke's academy completely, like where it is right now. And that's not a mystery. It's not been going on for years or anything. It's just started. Grogu is the first student if he chooses. And then we had like this whole kind of side story thing building where it's like, who's Luke training now? Like, are we gonna take a break from seeing Luke and then come back, and then he's gonna have like several new students? We're gonna recognize those people, like, I do think that there's a high possibility of bringing in Han Solo at the end with Ben. I feel like that has a lot of narrative to it as well, because you know what happens with Ben, you know what happens with Han Solo, you know how it kind of has a similar contrast with Luke and his father in a way. But like in a opposite direction, sort of thing. And to me, it really sums up what maybe this whole thing is about. It's about the right and wrong. It's about doing good versus evil. It's about making that choice and making it your own personal choice of how you want to go about things. And I think that's narratively, the story here feels like that. Like, and so to me, it would marry things up perfectly if Ben does show up in some form, and maybe Leia in the background, like waving her hand. Like, I have a perfect shot in mind, and maybe I'll put that up as a picture right here or something. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I think I talked enough about this. I'm really excited. I think everybody can be excited. We got a lot to be excited about, and look forward to here. So I will actually be able to do a reaction with my family and record that and see, just kind of get a little bit of their taste on things too. Because it is a family show. I mean, especially this last episode, it had a very family vibe. It's a Boba Fett show, and they still mostly brought a family vibe to it. I would like some darker moments. I would like them to kind of branch into some darker elements sometimes and really show the like real gritty Star Wars. But I don't know when that's ever gonna happen, to be honest. And I feel like they could. Like, they have a lot of gritty moments in Star Wars. The originals had arms cut off and you could see the whole arm, and like they could, do more. I hope for some of that. Especially like with these, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But like, somebody pointed out, they have these cyborg angsty teenagers. Just, you could pull arms out of their sockets and it wouldn't do anything other than for the shock value kind of thing. Because they are human, but like pulling something out of like a metal socket in their arm, that's not gonna do. Anyway, they could. I feel like they're saving that, or hope that they're saving that for this episode to just kind of really bring the just emphasize on how scary these guys really are. And we don't know the Pikes, like, but now we do, kind of thing. Like, it's gonna get there. That's all I'm gonna say about this right now, and I'll give afterthoughts on Boba Fett and kind of maybe go more in depth on every episode as far as how I felt about it. And yeah, Wizard. I don't know how to end this. Wizard.